Welcome, everyone, to the first NAIFA Live of 2021. I'm your host, Zach Hewells. We have a great program for you today, but before we get started, please join John D. Richardson of NAIFA, Tennessee in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. I'd now like to turn things over to NAIFA CEO Kevin Mayu for some NAIFA announcements. Kevin?
Happy New Year! 2021 marks year 3 of our One NAIFA, and if you can believe it, this is our 3rd year of NAIFA Live, our national membership monthly meeting. This year we have moved to Wednesdays each month based on your feedback. In case you're wondering, the NAIFA Live speaker selections and sessions are put together by an all-star team of volunteers that have worked very hard to find topics and speakers that will push us out of our safe zone and challenge us to new levels. I want to thank the members of our NAIFA Live committee that have worked tirelessly to identify and lock in top speakers that will motivate and inspire us each month to do more. NAIFA Live was one of the first initiatives post-QME, and it's been a bit of an experiment as we've tried new things. When we first introduced it, a hybrid model with remote viewers was a new idea. Now it's the standard. Because we had already introduced NAIFA Live in January 2019, based first on Zoom and then having people gathered together in person, we were able to more easily navigate COVID. I want to thank our volunteers for pushing the envelope and pushing us to improve performance. We have an incredible lineup of speakers for 2021 put together by our NAIFA Live committee, and I just want to thank them again for their hard work in contributing to our national membership meeting by providing inspirational speakers. I would be remiss if I didn't kick off our NAIFA Nation monthly membership meeting with a wrap-up of 2020. Wow, there are no words for what we've just endured and continue to endure. But as is the NAIFA way, together we can take on anything, as we showcased in 2020 again and again. I'm pleased to announce that despite being in year 2 of restructuring, despite a global pandemic whereby live events were canceled, despite all of it, NAIFA grew in new members by 105% over 2019. And if you combine new and returning member growth, that number goes to 112%. The word is getting out again, the pride is growing, and all eyes are on NAIFA. In addition to our membership growth, 2020 was a great year for NAIFA as we celebrated our 130th year and, spurred by the pandemic, moved us squarely into the digital world. We held our most successful Performance Plus Purpose conference to date, and we were able to bring in over 30,000 viewers into our programs during the year. As 2021 looks to be much the same as 2020, we are confident that we will continue to do what NAIFA does. We work. Whether it's virtual or in person, nothing will stop NAIFA. We are the association that can flex to every challenge and stay laser focused on doing the work that has true impact. While we are so optimistic and enthusiastic about the future, we must also take a moment to reflect on the serious nature of our mission. We have a new administration and Congress that may be unaware of who NAIFA is and what we do. We have a lot to do in terms of establishing and growing relationships. We have a lot of work to do in raising funds for IFAPAC. We have a lot to do in advocating on behalf of our businesses and clients. The bottom line is we need more members to step up, get active, and give. You will see this year a new series of IFAPAC fundraising events, as well as a new component of NAIFA Live focused on networking with speakers that is sponsored by IFAPAC. We ask that everyone get involved this year in advocacy, whether it's reporting a relationship, contributing to IFAPAC, or attending a meeting. We need you now more than ever. As my final association update, I wanted to let everyone know that our NAIFA 2025 strategic plan will be finalized this month. Thank you to everyone who has provided feedback on the exposure draft. The new plan focuses on 3 areas: membership growth, brand amplification, and membership experience. The hard work we've done since our historic vote in 2018 is paying off. We have more new members than we've had in 20 plus years. We have a new member mobile and web application that is coming out this month to better connect us and have a way to communicate in ways other than email. We have new partners who want to work with NAIFA, such as Insperity, Every Income, Southern Medical Association, E4 Insurance, Fairway Mortgage, Legacy Lock, and Customers Bank that we need to welcome into our NAIFA community. We have more media exposure than ever before, and we're building more programs to provide a consistent member experience through a new learning management system that will launch this quarter. The formula now is this: we need more. Our brand is focused on members. We need more members raising their hand to be featured in member spotlights, to contribute to our blogs, to want to engage consumers directly. Please consider raising your hand in 2021 to volunteer, to get engaged, and to continue to do the good work of NAIFA. Now it's my pleasure to introduce an absolutely amazing panel of speakers who will talk to you about what they wish they had known in building their business so that they can work smarter and not harder. With us today, we have Karina Hatfield, our 2020 Young Advisor Team Leader of the Year, Rob Landgraf, immediate past president of Minnesota, Ryan Jewell, advisor, ambassador, and member of our 2025 Strategic Planning Committee, Kathleen Owens, advisor, ambassador, NAIFA Live Committee, and member of our 2025 Strategic Planning Committee, and Chris Robinette, National Quality Award recipient and NAIFA Tennessee member. Here to give more of a thorough introduction on each of our panelists is our host for the session, John D. Richardson. John?
Thanks, Kevin. Welcome to the January edition of NAIFA Live. I'm John Richardson, past state president of NAIFA Tennessee and 2018 YAT Leader of the Year. Today, I'm going to serve you guys as your host. Now, it's a new year. Now is the perfect time to reflect on your career as a financial professional and take action to take your business to the next level. Today, we have 5 guest speakers who are going to share with you several successful ideas to grow your business by sharing their personal stories of success and the challenges that they overcame as financial professionals. And to quote NAIFA legend Drew DeWitt, "This is the stuff I wish I knew when I got started in the business." Now, in our first presentation, More Bling for Your Cha-ching, NAIFA Pennsylvania State President and 2020 YAT Leader of the Year, Karina Hatfield, will share some timeless tips to make the most of your marketing money. Karina is a 3rd-generation NAIFA member. She shared with me personally that she's very grateful and thankful that her father introduced her and eventually encouraged her to sign up to become a NAIFA member back in 2005. When Karina is not busy running her successful property and casualty business, you will find her busy with her husband and her 2 daughters serving her community. With that, Karina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, John. So how do you make sure you're spending money in the right places? I want to share the top 4 lessons I've learned when it comes to spending money in my practice. So let's talk about gifts and giveaways, branding, networking, and sponsorship. There are so many branded items to purchase and give away. These are things like pens, yardsticks, calendars, sports schedules, ID cards, portfolios, birthday and anniversary cards, holiday gifts. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on these. If you're taking over a book of business, find out what the previous owner did in the past. If you're considering something like a birthday or anniversary card, remember, this is something you will most likely continue to do as your book grows. So you'll want to consider the commitment to the delivery, timing, and expense of the cards. My agency gives away a calendar with a thermometer in it. I'm a 3rd-generation agent, and my grandfather started giving away these calendars many years ago. One year, we decided not to do them. The cost was rising. It was getting late in the year to order them to have before January, so we nixed it. I was surprised how many clients reached out asking for them, noticing that we didn't have the calendars that year and wanted them. It was enough to make a decision to do them for the remainder of our agency's existence. This is something so many clients call for, stop in, ask to be mailed, give to family, friends. It's unbelievable. On the other hand, I spent 1 year on money on car mats. You know, those paper mats you get when you go to a car dealership. to get service work. One of the companies I represent was doing a deal on them, and I thought it would be nice to give to my garage owner clients so they didn't have that expense. Boy, was I wrong. They came in, they were thick, almost like cardstock. They slipped around. I ordered thousands of these things, and all the money was wasted, as well as the product. So takeaway number one, spend some time thinking about your clients. Maybe even talk to a few of your trusted ones or other NAIFA members to get some ideas. But I would suggest the simpler, the better. We stick to calendars with thermometers, binders for our commercial and financial clients to keep their policies in, and football and baseball magnet schedules. A rule of thumb for me is this question: am I spending money to keep a client, gain a client, or am I just spending money? I've had the conversation through the years about who or what brand am I marketing? Am I marketing Wigner Insurance and Financial Services? Or is it a company I represent, for example, Nationwide? Think about this when you're buying anything with a logo, like shirts, those giveaways, or even ad space. It's something that you want to be consistent, but it can be different at times. I market as my company, Wigner Insurance and Financial Services. And when I go to a classic car show, I'll represent the insurance carrier, Hagerty. I'm in the right place with the right audience to receive the message of that carrier, and they have marketing dollars to help me reach that audience. These are carriers like Hagerty who have marketing dollars available to you if you use their product in the market they're trying to reach. In my classic car show example, their money helped me to reach more people with a giveaway or entry to the show, and I wouldn't have been able to effectively reach them otherwise. Takeaway number two, look for the win, win, win. Find out if the company you offer has money to use for marketing, including client events, and if they do, use it. This helps the customers learn about a product to serve their need. Win. It helps the carrier to reach a new customer. Win. It helps you to place the business and take care of the customer. Win. Let's touch on networking. Make the decision to be where your prospects are, or create a center of influence who is in front of that same prospect, but for a different reason. Pick and choose networking events that are geared towards you getting in touch with your ideal client or other professionals that are after the same client for a different purpose. I've attended chamber events, young professionals networking, and business owner roundtables for different reasons. Take advantage of the membership you have or you need to initiate, but make the decision based on where your clients or prospects spend their time. Let's use NAIFA as a prime example. There are many different practice specialties in our space. Find a member that does something your clients are looking for that you don't, and create that center of influence. We can build our own contact sphere just within the association. One of my centers of influence is a local attorney that helps set up wills. They refer me, when appropriate, for life insurance and planning. Another is a car dealership, or even a salesperson at a car dealership who can refer me clients for auto insurance. My client base is an organic center of influence. For referrals from clients, we give them a $10 thank you gift card when they refer us someone for a quote. Of course, make sure you check with your company and compliance, so you're doing what is acceptable for your state and business. Takeaway number 3, spend time in the right network with the emphasis on work. Head to a networking event with the goal to meet 3 people who can become or introduce you to your next client. Finally, let's talk about money and sponsorships and vendor events, virtual or face-to-face, and what access those sponsorships buy for you and your business. Think about who is the audience of the sponsorship. Who is reading that golf course map, the local high school sports schedule, the back of the 5K t-shirt? The list can go on and on, depending on the size of your network and community involvement. Choose the events, causes, or community which means something to you or your staff. What do I mean by that? Pick the event that has the audience you want to reach. Do not pick every event. Chose the golf course map. What other options does that open up? How can you be more present? Does that golf course do golf outings you or associates can get involved in for a more meaningful presence? If you're doing the sponsorship for a 5K, see if you can add to a goodie bag or have a booth at the event, maybe even participate yourself. Takeaway number 4, go back to what you were thinking for those giveaways. Make sure you have something useful for the bags, table, or to hand out. We like chapsticks, pens, mini first aid kits, things like that for ours. So what did we talk about? Gifts and giveaways, branding, networking, and sponsorship. It's not too late to get that plan in place for 2021. Build that budget, stretch those bills, and get more bling for your cha-ching. Thank you.
Thanks, Karina. Our next speaker is Certified Financial Planner Rob Landgraf from NAIFA, Minnesota. Rob is a fee-based financial planner with a registered investment advisor who focuses on serving his clients at the highest fiduciary standard. Rob lives in Rochester, Minnesota with his wife, Claire, and their energetic 3-year-old daughter, Frankie. Recently, Rob began teaching Frankie how to downhill ski, which he describes as one of the most difficult challenges he has ever attempted. Ladies and gentlemen, ski coach extraordinaire, Rob Landgraf.
Well, thanks, John. I think teaching a toddler to ski plays well into today's topic of wishing our past selves knew as much as our current selves. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to teach a 3-year-old to ski, and none of them suggested that I should just go out and buy a 40-pound bag of sand and throw it around my backyard for a couple of hours, all while wearing boots and skis, which is about the only thing that could have prepared me for what happened last Saturday. As John mentioned, I'm a financial planner. The vast majority of my clients pay for my planning advice through a fee tied to assets under management, or AUM. While I discuss the importance of insurance with my clients, I don't have anything to do with the sale of the actual insurance. NAIFA provides me with knowledge about insurance as well as a connection to agents that can help with my clients' insurance needs. As an aside, I win new clients because of my ability to discuss financial planning concepts and refer to other professionals for things that I can't provide, such as tax advice, estate planning, risk management. If you haven't already, start building your network of professionals you can refer your clients to. You might also find you get some in return. Now, if managing investments is not a part of your business, I urge you not to just tune out and multitask over the next 5 minutes. I believe my comments are universal and can be applied to sales of any product or service, be that property casualty, life insurance, or annuities. Rather than build up to the main idea, I'm going to start right out with the biggest thing I've learned throughout the course of my career and provide some specific examples of some smaller concepts along the way. You might be surprised to hear me say that I don't sell investments. I don't manage money, nor do I provide financial planning services. The only thing that I sell is trust. Trust is the vehicle that allows me to serve my clients through the license that they have granted me to provide advice. At the point trust is established, products and services are irrelevant, so long as you're acting in the client's best interest. The thing is, clients already assume you are technically sound, or they wouldn't be sitting in front of you. Their only real concern is whether or not you're going to take advantage of them. Let me give you a couple of ways you can start building trust with clients and prospects. 1, be genuine in yourself. Always act as if someone's watching, because they are. They're watching in person as well as online. Take some time to search yourself on the internet to see how you are being portrayed. 2, you don't need to know all the answers. It's okay to say that you don't know and that you will find out. Be confident, which is different than arrogant. Arrogance destroys trust. Try on humble for a bit. You might like how it fits. 3, own your mistakes and apologize. Accountability is a big thing, and it goes a long way in building and maintaining relationships. 4, have a process for everything, start to finish, written down. Do not shoot from the hip. This shows clients that you are a professional, you're paying attention, and you won't screw things up. Specific to managing money, make sure you're using an investment policy statement. This protects you and the client. I'm still recovering from a number of MLP, energy infrastructure investment recommendations made a number of years ago because it was a hot asset class. That's not the case in 2020. It was a terrible investment to be in. Had I been adhering to an investment policy statement, I wouldn't have put my clients in harm. There is no speculation anymore. I now use an investment policy statement. Number 5, do what you say you're going to do at all costs. And if you can't deliver on the expectations you set, reach out to communicate with the client and set some new expectations. They'll be okay with that. 6, make a recommendation that doesn't make you money. You might find it builds so much trust, the client chooses to do business with you anyway. 7, make recommendations that you would personally accept if given to you. Don't make recommendations that drive the most revenue. If you've never made a recommendation to take the pension income and 100% of your recommendations are to roll that pension over to an IRA, you need to reevaluate how you're doing business. Also, clients and prospects can feel you leaning in for the sale, and they'll be put off. They're also going to share that experience with their friends, which makes a smaller pool of people that will consider trusting you in the future. This brings me to the next thing I wish I knew long ago. Things that matter to me don't matter to clients. I spend on average 5 minutes per hour review session talking about investments and the economy. Don't spend time talking to clients about things that they don't care about. I've only had one client in the history of my career ask me what the standard deviation of their portfolio was. It just so happens this client used to be a financial advisor, so I assume he learned somewhere along the way that standard deviation mattered. When I first started out, I spent hours printing and poring over variable life illustrations, 37 pages at a time. In hindsight, these did nothing to build trust, and as a result, I didn't sell many VULs. Today, I use about 0 sales collateral. The last thing I wish I had learned on day one is that people don't like to feel dumb. As financial professionals, we have this relentless urge to tell people how much we know about stuff. Stop doing this and start asking clients how you can help. When you identify ways to help clients, speak plainly, as if you're talking to a 10-year-old. It's more condescending to use industry jargon and buzzwords than it is to talk in the language everyone else is using. People will assume you're smart. You shouldn't have to tell them this. In summary, remember what matters, which is 1, what matters to the client, and 2, whether or not they trust you. I'm going to stick around after the program if there's any Q&A, but also don't hesitate to reach out to me directly using the contact information on the screen. Thanks for all spending a few minutes with me. John, back to you.
Thanks, Rob. Our next speaker is disability insurance brokerage manager and marketing genius, Ryan Jewell. Coming to us from the great Northwest, Seattle, Washington, Ryan is the host of Millennial Money Matters. Ryan has built a successful business around helping people protect their largest asset, their income. Now, when Ryan's not busy having meaningful conversations with the next generation of leaders, you'll find him having fun with his family and working out. Ryan, again, thank you so much for joining us today.
John, I appreciate being invited here today. Grateful for the time. And I'm also grateful for all the NAIFA members, whether you're watching today from the East Coast, maybe you're watching from the West Coast, the Midwest, whatever time zone you're in. I just want to acknowledge everyone for your efforts within our association, representing an industry that always needs your help, that always needs our support. And when I was asked to talk today about content creation and podcasts, I just had to chuckle to myself because I think some people think I have a podcast and I might get there. I have a cool looking setup. I think that makes people think that. But one of the first things I was going to talk about today, and if you're taking notes, point number 1 is simply invest in a nice setup. Invest in a nice setup. And that incorporates a couple things. And in fact, behind me is a backdrop that I ordered online, I think a couple years ago. It's probably $100, a nice vinyl thing. And simply having a backdrop, maybe you pull it into client meetings, maybe you don't, maybe you use it for the first time, pushing some content online, it can make you really stand out. Additionally, make sure you look sharp. Some nice clothes. Again, you don't have to go shopping, spending thousands at Nordstrom's, but you're looking good. You got a nice haircut. In terms of your office, is your office clean? Is it decluttered? Does it look nice and sharp so that no matter what angle you're at, you look professional? You have good lighting. What you can't see behind me here is a nice lighting box. I think I picked it up from Amazon. I think it was only maybe $50, but depending on the time of day, maybe some of you have a situation like in my office where sometimes the sun can be shining through in certain angles that can make your lighting, you just don't look good on camera. And so having the right lighting can totally change that and keep that professional appearance. And the last thing in terms of setup is having a nice microphone. Now, ironically, today I'm speaking to you from, I'm mic'd up here on my chest, but just having a nice microphone, whether you use it or not, it can look super sharp. And frankly, even clients, they want to talk about it. Hey, tell me about your setup. So invest in a nice setup. The second thing, no matter what kind of content you want to create, is build a dynamic relationship with compliance. So often we hear complaining, and I can resonate with that. I can understand frustrations, but take care of compliance. Be friendly. In fact, maybe even consider being a gift giver for the first time. I mean, even if compliance is 4 states away, it's 2020, we can send gift cards and we can send people to lunch and say, hey, thank you for helping me get published in our local newspaper. Thank you for helping me approve this content so I don't look so boring on social media. Point number 3, simply start somewhere. I'm a huge fan of what I call progress over perfection. It's so easy to get stuck in our head, basically paralysis by analysis, thinking, oh, are people literally going to like this? Are they literally going to comment on this? Am I going to be embarrassed? Am I going to look stupid? But the bottom line is we've got to start somewhere. In fact, the best day to start with content creation was yesterday. So the next best day is today. Again, focus on progress. Don't worry about being perfect. People would frankly just appreciate some fresh content. Point number 4, be creative, be engaging. There was a phrase I heard recently from a friend of mine who talked about the social media expert mentioning, don't post and ghost. When people are commenting, comment back. Everybody's accessible these days. Big time CEOs, celebrities, they respond back. Well, we should be no different. We should be accessible, engaging, friendly, not overthinking our message, and keeping it simple. In fact, if you're wondering, well, how much time over my last probably 5 years of making my own content have I spent on this? Very minimal time. In fact, that's one of the reasons I haven't fully committed to a podcast is I'm not committed to everything that goes into that. And I'm sure one day I will be. But if you just take 5 or 10 minutes a week, it's amazing how you can change the perspective of the way your clients see you, the way prospects see you, maybe some referral sources are going to see you because they see you in a new light, not just in the midst of meetings and strategy meetings. Point number 5, have a 20-year vision. For those of you who have heard of Grant Cardone, self-proclaimed real estate mogul, he talks about how so many people, they start pushing content, but then they stop investing in themselves. They stop making content because they lose the 20, the 30-year vision of what it takes to build an empire. And so anything that's content related, it's just a 1-degree shift. It's just a small thing that's not necessarily going to build the business, but over the long periods of time, it likely will come back around. And last, point number 6, be consistent, mix it up, switch it from short videos, articles, maybe some fresh pictures, hire a photographer to take some action shots. And as I land this plane after 6 points in 6 minutes, which is hard to do, everybody's getting Googled. So do anything, start now, be creative, have some fun, have a lot of fun doing this. And finally, if you're afraid of speaking, I understand that. Look into Toastmasters International, help you get outside the box, break through that fear of speaking, and create some fun content. John, back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. When you look up the word disciplined or focused in the dictionary, you will see the picture of our next speaker. Kathleen Owings is an independent, comprehensive financial planner from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Captain Owings is a West Point graduate, a Bronze Star recipient, a NAIFA 4 under 40 winner, and a dedicated NAIFA leader who serves on numerous committees at the state and also national level of NAIFA. When Kathleen is not busy leading her clients to victory, you will find her busy spending quality time with her husband, Michael, and her teenage daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, NAIFA rock star, Kathleen Owings.
Thanks so much, John, and welcome to my friends out there, my NAIFA friends, and those of you that are looking at our industry association. It's been a pleasure working with all of my NAIFA family, and I am really excited to share with you my lessons learned and the stuff I wish I knew for technology. Last year, 2020, was certainly an interesting year for all of us. COVID changed not only our lives and our family situations, but for many of us, how we did business. We were used to being knee to knee with clients. face to face with them. And with COVID, I would say probably all of us had to go to a virtual setting. Instead of talking about in-person meetings or face-to-face meetings, we were setting up Zoom calls or phone calls or conference calls or go-to-meeting calls. Our vocabulary with our clients changed. And I know for myself, it changed with all of my clients, not just my younger generations, my baby boomers, but also my older clients. They were much more open to do Zoom calls and virtual meetings. So I'm going to chat with you just a little bit and share with you here in a moment the technology resources that we use in our company. This last year was my 14th year in the business. Again, doing business the way I did, seeing my clients in person, shaking hands, and in many cases, giving them hugs. So we had to quickly adapt to a new virtual world in 2020. And our technology was almost there. I was familiar with Zoom. I was utilizing it, but I'm going to be honest with you. Our CRM wasn't there. Financial planning was okay, the platform we were using, but we made some leaps and bounds, probably in the most difficult time, but our team did it. And I'm really excited to share this with you. So here's the slide that I'm going to share just so you see some of the technology. I'm going to talk about what we're using and then also how I came to these and what I do to make our technology even better, to serve our clients even better. The key was the CRM. We had an old kind of antiquated CRM that my business partner, who's been in the business since the 80s, frankly, was using. It wasn't bad, did the job, but it wasn't easy to access when 4 of us were in different locations. We left the office because in Colorado, there was a shelter in place. And so we were all working from home. In order to get to that, it was not easy. So there was a lot of points of friction. That's something Amazon has really learned and figured out how to do. Less friction points. People are much more likely to buy from you and do business when it's easier because we're all on our phones. We're doing business quickly. We're making things happen. So we switched our CRM in the middle of COVID, and wasn't the easiest, but actually it wasn't that bad. We got the team members on board and did that. The other thing we're using more, again, Zoom. We're all doing it. We're all using that technology. I'm spending more time with clients on that and setting up these meetings and making sure we're talking to them. That's something I'm sure all of you out there are familiar with, or some virtual communication platform. DocuSign. I mean, how much easier is life when you can send electronic documents to clients and say, look, we've had the conversation. You want to move forward. My assistant will send you a document the next day or two. So much easier to do business that way. So we've transitioned to utilizing DocuSign for electronic document signature and delivery. We're also using questionnaires. I mean, of course, I'm doing fact finding with clients on Zoom, but ahead of many of my calls, I'm sending them really in-depth questionnaires. So I have a good idea of their situation before we get on the call. And that's what Precise FP is and what they offer. Calendly, oh my gosh, that's been a game changer for me. No longer do I have this email tennis with clients trying to figure out times that they're available or I'm available. Calendly is fantastic. It gives them the control to set up a time to meet with me. So I've got folks on my calendar, but I'm giving my clients less friction points to talk to me and work with me and collaborate through just another electronic platform. Externally, when we're looking at clients and marketing to them, we've made changes there. We're using LinkedIn more, Facebook. I'm getting involved in Facebook groups and really contributing to those groups to help my people that are out there that need the help. Videos, we're doing bomb videos. These are really cool because I'm shooting videos every week and I'm landing in my clients' email boxes and they're seeing my face. They're seeing my expression. They're seeing my smile over time, which maybe they haven't seen last year. So that's been really fun to connect with them on a different level. And people love it, frankly. They love to see myself every week. They love to see my business partner. And that's been a great way. Again, just another connection point to be in front of people and talking to them. Lastly, I'm always looking for new technology. I think that's the key. And that's the one thing that last year and COVID taught me is to never lay back and rest on your laurels. I'm always looking to see if there's new cutting edge technology that's going to, again, connect me better with my clients and have those touch points And the key, I said it earlier, is reduce the friction points, make life easier for them and for me to do business and really have that connection time with them so I can build a deeper and better relationship. What's going to be good for all of us. It'll be good for them and their financial plans, their family, and then also for our business to continue on what we're doing. So thanks for your time today. This has been great. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Kathleen. Our last speaker is a proud NAIFA member and Navy veteran. Chris Robinette is a comprehensive fee-based financial planner from Nashville, Tennessee, who knows how to captivate an audience through his candor and his passion for this industry. Whether it's watching a Nashville Predators hockey game from the front row seats along the glass to having a meaningful conversation about life, Chris Robinette knows how to make people feel special. In our final presentation, Chris will share how he masterfully connects with his clients. Ladies and gentlemen, the unofficial mayor of Nashville, Tennessee, Chris Robinette.
Hey guys, appreciate that, John. You're awesome. So I want to start with a quick story because, when you're in NAIFA for any amount of time whatsoever, you always end up running in with the same people and start doing a lot of the same stuff. But you'll find your family and you'll find your friends that are all over the place. And, John and I, we first met and really started hanging out because we're in NAIFA, Tennessee together. But we were actually at Caesars in Vegas. And John's never played 3-card poker before. So I was like, yeah, come on. He's like, I don't want to spend any money on this game. So I totally floated him $100. He won like $300. And he got up to go drink and didn't even give him $100 back. So that's how I met John Richardson. So, I love him. And he's since paid me back since then, but it's really funny when we talk about it all the time. But, he wanted me to kind of talk about marketing and things that I've done and things that haven't worked and things that have worked. And so I want to just kind of hit on a couple of really big topics. And, the first one was right there. Always lead with a story. Anytime you can, don't just dive in on who you are, what you do, why you're so great and all the licenses you have, and really focus on a story. Focus on something that can bring out a conversation and make people want to go deeper. How do you build a brand? And then how do you build that brand around yourself? I actually created a hashtag that I use all the time. It's just hashtag financial planner approved. And so now I comment on people's posts all the time if they do awesome things. And I just say hashtag financial planner approved. But it's a subtle way. Anytime I see something on Instagram or Facebook that people are doing, for them to be like, oh, that guy, he does it. I should talk to him. Because if you're constantly listening to people and you maintain your integrity and you maintain just honesty and transparency, people will love you and they'll want to talk to you. You don't need to waste money on magazine ads, and you don't need to buy leads unless you really know the source that you're working for and someone else has done it before and they can actually vouch for what it's actually doing. What I actually do is I use Reminder Media, and they run an ad or an actual magazine every other month. I've done email mailers. Those are great just to put articles at and things that are going on. Because, honestly, in my mind, I've done this for 9 years now. And I think cold is literally the worst thing in the world. Anything you can do to take time and earn warm leads, either referrals or references or just getting to know people at networking events, and then create customer service as an experience, and people will stick with you for decades, and if you're constantly blasting people in the beginning about call me, let me get your business card, here's my business card, do all this other stuff, like you're not gonna get anywhere. So, you need to learn to tell stories. And you need to learn to remember people's names, And I say a lot because I want you to know that you should know that, by the way. I'm not a public speaker, but I play one on TV. But what I've learned, when I first started out, I didn't know anybody. I moved to Nashville. I knew 2 people. And I decided to go to every networking event there was, and especially the ones with free food and free alcohol. But let me give you a hint. If they have free food, go early and eat before everyone else does, so you're not holding a plate. And if you're going to drink, cap it at 2, because there's nothing worse than having free tequila all night and then not being able to maintain a conversation, forgetting to get someone's information, or, embarrassing yourself in front of all these people you're hoping to be your clients. So, do that. Either eat early or eat at the very end. If you're going to drink, limit it to 2. And then, talk to people, figure out what they're talking about. I tell everybody, always carry a pen. Here it is right here on my shirt. Always carry a pen so you can take down notes. Business cards are cool. I don't carry business cards anymore. I've created an entire digital card in my phone. It's It's got my cell phone, my email, my work email, work phone number, my nickname, my birth date. And then I ask people, it's like, I don't have cards. Can I just get your cell phone number and I'll send you my card? Well, now you have their contact information, first name, last name. They told you how to spell it. You now have a cell phone, so you get around the gatekeeper. And then you send them your contact card with a picture of you that you like. And anytime you call or text them, it's going to pop up. They're going to remember you. You can follow up with them easily the next day about some story that they were telling you, something that you dove in on more and you got more and more info on. So now that you're unique, you're the only one that knows they won a gold medal in skiing in the World Junior Olympics. And you reminded that in the text message you sent them the next day, and they're going to ask you to get coffee. They're going to ask you to want to hang out. You know, one of the things in life and business that I find out a lot in wrapping this up is that people want financial independence and people want to build a legacy, but they don't want insurance and they don't want investments. They want a conduit. And you are the conduit to get people from point A to point B, to get them out of debt, to figure out their cash flow, figure out what they're doing in life. So find a way to help them get to their dreams without worrying about the type of product you're going to sell. And the other thing is too, a lot of times people do cold. They waste a lot of money on leads and marketing. I'll tell you, find a brand, build your brand, build a Facebook group, build a Facebook business page, make your Facebook group local people in your area. You know, just add salespeople, add people you want. Do an education, do advice, do anything you can without pushing your business, and business will come. Then you can make really cool things. Like I make coffee cups, right? Lighthouse Planet. I make tumblers, $9 for a tumbler. These things are amazing. Coffee cup is $3. And then these awesome workout shirts, $15. There's a ton of stuff you can do out there for your clients in marketing space that can build your brand and do it the right way. So, you know, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope this has been helpful. And let me know if you ever have any more questions. Feel free to reach out.